The one word that comes to mind is repetitions. You must repeat endlessly, as long as needed, your speech without having a humiliating stuttering incident. Everything is use it or lose it in life. If you don't continually stutter in some situations, it will die. It will go away. Now, if you don't talk, that's not only is it cheating, it doesn't really train you to speak under pressure. You do need to talk under pressure. So the more you can talk under pressure without humiliating yourself, the sooner it's going to go away. Now, combined with this, you've got to forgive yourself for minor mistakes. If you say, I have forgotten where I left my book, but it was somewhere in the car and I'm not sure exactly where, that is not stuttering. We're talking about fear-driven speech, fear-driven stuttering that makes other people go, what's the problem with this guy? And you or girl, and you know when that is, and I know when it is. And when that occurs, we call that a bad incident. I now call them humiliating incident because I think too many of you and I at one time misgraded myself. When I made minor mistakes, I considered it stuttering and major boo-boos, and this compounded the problem. I must forgive myself for minor errors that are not obviously humiliating. If it isn't obviously humiliating, you get a passing grade. You must give yourself a passing grade. That's absolutely essential. You've got to continue to speak well under pressure. And you say, how long? Well, we don't know because it's how severe was your stuttering? How many years did you do it? In what percentage? There are people who stutter on every word in maybe when they're on the phone and nowhere else. Or there are people who stutter only with their parents, believe it or not. Or there are people who stutter only at school in class. And then there are people who stutter most everywhere or lots of places. And then there are people who stutter everywhere. So it's different for everybody. But the solution remains we must stop humiliating incidents, period. So, which of the methods do we need to learn? Well, it took me 700 pages in my last and best book on the subject, and it took me 80 pages to write a short course on the same thing. And so I would only say to you, I can't tell you here what's in those books, but in a nutshell, there we have ways. There's never been a word you couldn't say if you used some of our methods. Now, you might use crutch 1 or 2 and 4 or 3 and 6 or 9 and 10 or whatever, but we have enough methods for you to avoid humiliating stuttering that you can do it. Look, bottom line, if you can make a sound, you can always speak. Never forget that. Ah is a sound. Is a sound. If you can make a sound, you can always speak. Miguel is my name. I'm going to Sam meeting. Please pass the butter. May I have some toast? If you can make a sound, you will break any block. And once you've broken it, if you hold the sound into the problem word or words and keep pushing your sound as if you're singing, you'll never stutter. Keep it short. Why is it that 99% of all stutterers would tell you, oh, I never stutter when I sing? Why would they do that? They will do that. We've got thousands of them who've told us that. Thousands. If you can sing, when you're singing, you don't stutter. And why is that? Because you're holding your tone through your words. And you get over the first word because you're thinking about the music. Look, your mind only thinks one thing at a time. To stutter, it must think only problem word. Anytime you think anything else, guess what? You'll never stutter.